All right, Martin. What happened last time?
I
Is he frozen? He is frozen, isn't he?
I think so.
the horrible tasks we were going to tackle first.
Okay.
We lucked out because instead of spiders, we ended up against men who were not our match. We were able to capture a sentry and interrogate him. Our wonderful face, Regarius, talked sense to the guy before anyone started cutting his ears off, which of course the rest of us were champing at the bit to do. He squealed, and we came to the conclusion that there would be no diplomacy with his cutthroat lieutenant. He also gave us some info on the place he was. Well, I guess he had never been there, but the place that the people he was working for operate out of, the moving wood fort. We then did the daring and suicidal thing of going through the forest, going through the spider-infested woods in the middle of the night to try to catch the rest of the spy outpost by surprise, and it went off pretty well. There was a brilliant play by the clerics of flashing and silencing our approach, and it was kind of a brutal slaughter. I felt bad.
Yeah.
But we won, and we did our job.
It was. Yeah.
It was glorious.
It's an excellent plan, and basically any of the oh crap things that the enemy could have done, you all had anticipated and shut down, and then got everyone that was good with blades and slicing people up where they needed to be, and that was the end of that. And the enemy lieutenant who worked for this other gang, who your captured person had claimed has a means of just their sanctuary will just appear in other places or disappear. He refused to talk, he refused to parlay, and he said he preferred death, and that's what you all gave him. And now you've got a very blood-soaked but otherwise vacant ruin of a castle tower out in the wilderness on the edge of this river. And let me see. Okay, and that's where we will. That's where we're starting.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, hey, Mike.
Clear.
Oh, okay. So, I'm ready to roll. I had to do some switching devices here, but I'm good.
No problem.
Cool.
So it is now Lunasa, 25th of Fomar. By the way, I've not been using one for one time with what you all are doing. You are on the same adventure. So, breaking from that convention. Friggs Day. And you can see storm clouds rising up in the distance to the west, and a stiff wind is coming through. And you are currently at the tower. You've gathered up all the stuff, already searched all the bodies. I think I posted that, right? All the, all the stuff they had. Yeah.
Yeah, like hundreds of malts and stuff.
Oh, and who was the group caller this time? I think it's Scumbag. I think it's, isn't it? Yeah.
That's what
I think so.
All right, so Solos is the group caller. So what's the plan?
Well, I'll consult with my allies, of course. Mainly just because out of character. I mean, do not remember very much of what the plan was, other than that we killed a whole bunch of people.
So for this particular job, I think we're done. All we have to do is report back. But we got a little more than we bargained for when we came out. We found this tower and emptied it, but there's like no door and nothing to prevent someone else from setting up shop here when we leave, unless some of you guys are good with traps or something.
I'm no carpenter, so
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't even know if we have a spade to dig pits or something.
I mean, I don't have anything. But I guess, I mean, there was a treasure trove, right? So there's like, we got to get that gold back. Either split between us or whatever. I mean, there's also a bunch of armor and things like that. So maybe we can try to, gather some of that stuff up, take it back, and then see what can be done with it. But I think the last time I was back with Anne, that whole place just seems so shady to me. Solus absolutely hates it.
So we have to decide whether to move on or go back. Because I've taken the head of the leader. It's a prized skull, very noble portions to his cranium. Where do you want to go? We can go forward into the depths again. I'll go back to town like wusses.
Well, Krogan, I know that you're eager to get going and achieve more glory for yourself. And honestly, I can't say I disagree with your enthusiasm.
Yeah.
But I think it's best not to endanger ourselves recklessly. I myself only have a few days of rations to go on, so I think it would be better if we recoup and maybe claim any further rewards. And also, wasn't there something about some supposed barbarians or something?
To the southwest.
Yeah, so let's head back for now, and then we'll figure it out later.
Yeah, lots of words.
So what's our situation for getting stuff back? Who has a horse or whatever?
We have,
Does anyone got horses?
Don't worry about it. We have plural pack mules and horses.
Okay. So yeah, I guess we load up all the stuff and get going.
All right. Is anyone below a movement speed of 9?
I'm on a horse.
Base movement speed. Okay. Got horses and mules, so if you pack everything up, all right, you're able to move. And by the end of the day, it's nighttime when you arrive back at Anne's redoubt. The sun has mostly set by the time you make it back.
Are these ring mails better than the armor our retainers are wearing?
No, they're all in chain.
Okay.
But the ringmail will be useful later on.
Yep.
Good to hold on
to. The redoubt is this. It does not look like this fort.
Well, so I think we should clarify who's carrying as a healing potion, because that would be important. Somebody should take that.
Frontliner.
We'll get to that in a minute. I think we have enough to go around, but let's let Ross finish setting the scene here.
Yeah, and you know that as far as the thinking in terms of a healing potion being like an emergency medical kit, if you think of it that way, you can let me know after the fact. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna be like, well, you didn't have that on you or something, unless you put it somewhere or something, or let me know. But all right, so the fort are these what they've been able to find to make a wooden palisade with, and then a watchtower in the back side of a hill that looks over it. And these tents made from hides, things that they could find and put together, that are kind of at the base of that tower. And then just a bunch of other tents. The only people here that you see that aren't the masked lieutenants of Anne are, and that are also cloaked when they're walking outside the tents, are just a handful of people that you had encountered. Maybe at this point, a little less than 24 people. What do you do?
Man, this place gives me the heebie-jeebies.
They ask for your weapons when you come in. They're two masked and hooded people. They ask to put away your weapons at the gates, and there's a place for your mules and horses and everything.
Just before we get inside, Krogon would like to turn to the others. What are your thoughts on this place? What do you think the people are with the masks? The strange lady. What do you think? Are they demons? Ghosts?
It may not be human.
Euelis, when you ask this, he says, "One thing I can assure you, Krogon, is that they are people and they are not demons. That I can promise you. I've seen their hearts. They are people. I do not know what afflicts them."
Okay. I'll give up my weapon. But only so many times.
All right, you are inside of the fort. On its muddy hill.
We should probably report to Anne then, huh?
Right. 2 captives as well.
All right.
What do our captives think of all this? We brought one of them back who had defected. Does that raise any eyebrows at the gate?
Yeah, he was going to make a deal with you. What was my note on that?
He made a deal. His deal was we get him back here alive, and we got him back here alive.
Ah.
As far as I'm concerned, the deal's up.
Well, he feels the same way. He's like, "All right, you're good on your word, and well, I suppose I should find some work then."
Well, I mean, we should present you to Anne. Make sure she knows you're here.
All right.
There's him, and there's the other guy whose surrender we accepted at the door, who may not have had a deal with us.
Oh, he was unconscious at the time, right?
No, he just surrendered to me when everyone else was getting cut down, and
Ah, right. Okay, yeah. You approach Anne's tent. There are the 2 guards there, and they notice that you have new people. They say, "Ah, you find more people out in the woods, eh?"
no, these are the spies you sent us out after.
You brought spies back to us.
Yes, you're welcome.
Wrapped in chains.
I see. Very well. She's in a mood
More
today.
valuable to you this way than dead.
And they open the flap to and they call into it, Anne. And they hear, "What? They've brought prisoners." And then they open the flap to the tent, the hide flap.
I'll enter.
You hear some shuffling. Who's the first person to enter the tent?
I'll enter first.
All right. Bloombad, you can make a wisdom saving throw.
Is there a button for that, or? Oh, saving throw. Okay, yeah. I have a +1.
You just see some quick commotion and rustling as an object is brought behind that barrier, and she says, "I thought you'd take care of the prisoners, not bring them back here so that they could find out more information about us. We'll have to kill them now." And at this, both of them look terrified.
Yeah, I thought you'd want to question them. I did succeed on my saving throw. I just didn't add my +1 modifier on.
Oh, okay. Well, when you enter the tent, you see this object pulled back across the surface of a table, which sits behind the thing that's the screen. There's a table that's just out on the edge of where the screen is, and there was clearly what must have been a dress, because it had lace and was of a light color, and you see it just be dragged out of view.
I'll turn my head. That's Yeah, so I'd be sure you'd want to question these prisoners, see if there's any other spies anywhere else. Surely they're worth more to you alive than dead.
What happened?
I'll give her the breakdown of everything.
Okay. Yeah, you do that. Do you conceal any information, or do you pretty well just present what happened?
Yeah, I'm not in the habit of lying. I'm a holy man.
Okay. All right. You lay out everything that happened, and she, from your point of view, and she says, so it was an entire outpost, a keep, and someone using magic too.
Well, trying at any rate.
It seems that we owe you a debt. Well, we'll take the 2 prisoners. Oh, I forgot. I need this. Let's see. Sabia, Sidieg, take the prisoners and keep them in the tent. And at this, the one that you that had made the deal with you was like, "This wasn't our deal. This wasn't our deal. You said you'd protect me." And then the 2 guards are dragging them off.
Yes, the deal was to get you here.
I don't think we said anything about protecting anyone.
We said we'd safely get you here, which we did.
Yep. They dragged
Just the
them
same.
off. I'm gonna make a note.
Perhaps we intervene a moment on his behalf. This was the fellow who turned coat and told us everything we needed to know, so that all of us made it back in one piece, and none save these 2 did.
And
Perhaps he gets good meals.
Yeah, and you hear her say, "We'll keep that in mind. We have ways of ensuring loyalty around here. And maybe they will see our side of things in the end. We thank you. Now, about those other 2 things."
Yes, you'll give us a night to rest at least, right?
Of course. You can take tents near the gate. You'll find many of them empty.
Make sure none of your lieutenants enter our tent, so...
We don't do that here.
Good.
Whatever a person earns here is theirs. Where will you go tomorrow?
We have yet to discuss it.
So be it. You can leave. She says tersely.
Fare thee well.
All right. The tents are, just as she described, just lean-tos and posts and shelters from then what becomes a nighttime storm as the as rains start to beat down. It is cold and uncomfortable. This is not like the fur-lined and stuffed beds of the outbuildings of the Bristleback Inn. There we go. And
I'll lay out my bedroll, try and make it a bit more comfy.
the rain start. The mud pours down the hill. You have to find something that you can use to kind of get yourself up and out of the mud. It doesn't make for a comfortable night's sleep, but as foot weary and battle weary as you are, sleep you still do. And you don't have to set a watch if you don't want to, or you can.
I will still take a watch, at least Solus will, because like he just does that naturally. He also fucking hates this place, so definitely looking out for like trying to figure out when, like, if there's a routine patrol by Anne's guards, and things like that. Anything off going on in the night. Not necessarily a watch to protect, but a watch to just sort of gather information.
If you just wait until everyone kind of goes to sleep, the rains actually stop. They're just kind of like late evening rains. It settles into a misty fog and a light rain after that. And it's becoming cold. I would say probably it's getting down into the 50s. Or what is that? 15? What is that? 12, 13 degrees Celsius or something? It's starting to get kind of... It's not warm anymore. It's like September time, late mid-September. Actually, no. But nonetheless, it is starting to get colder. But what you notice, Solas, is a couple of things. First of all, standing in your creepy ranger way in the dark in your cloak, just watching in the night, you can see that guards are kept at the entrances to the tents all night, and that there are guards that keep the tower. They are very disciplined about watching the tents and the tower. Whatever secret they have kept for a long time, and they've kept it well.
Okay. And do they chit chat, or are they quite silent and
yeah, disciplined. Yeah, silent
okay.
Often, not completely, but yes. Yeah, they're not out like playing cards or anything.
All right. Good
All
to
right.
know.
Is anyone else that set up watches for the night? Is that something the group wants to do, or do you just sleep and rest?
I mean, I'm willing to take a watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
How big are the tents?
Not big. I would say that they're just like these. So this man's on a horse. I'll kind of do a terrible job of kind of drawing. You have like poles that are low, and then they form like a hide lean-to that somebody has put stuff over to just protect from the elements. It does nothing to protect you from wind or to keep you warm or anything like that. You can also start a fire if you prefer.
Yeah, I'll take a watch.
Okay. Bloombad, if when you take a watch for the night to watch everything, watch your stuff, and you notice that these guards, they also patrol that hill and the tents, but they don't go into anyone else's tents. You watch them; they never go in, and they always return back to the tents up at the top of the hill. There are some people. By this point in the night, most people have passed out and are sleeping, even if they were up later in the night around a fire for any reason. You do see that some of these people swap at certain points, so this is part of some like organized, disciplined effort. These people that are in cloaks and masks. And even at
I'll
night
make a
they
no-
wear it.
Yeah, I'll make a note of like what time the shift changes happen for future reference.
Okay. Does anybody else take a watch? And if so, are you trying to watch for anything in particular?
I'll probably try to get some rest.
Solus, were you going to take a watch?
He did.
I already
yeah.
did, I believe.
I described
Oh, okay.
the ratio. All right. In that case, the sun rises the next day, and you hear the sounds of some of these people getting to work. Some of them, you can hear the noises of rudimentary tools clanging against wood outside and on work tables and benches inside of the fort. You can hear talking and the dragging of carts and people that are mucking and what's the gong people, like removing waste and all the things that try to that keep this place going.
I'll compare notes with Solus about the shift changes and whatnot.
Yeah, there's definitely something very strange going on here.
Do they have a compost heap? Is that where the gong farmers are taking the waste to? Or?
Yeah, they probably have like what are those things called? Outside sewer. I can't think of what it's called. Yeah, latrine. There's another word for it too, but basically
Borehole?
Poop trench, or poop holes and trenches.
Borehole, they called it in World War II, I believe.
Yeah.
The ship log?
Yeah, and either way, they can't. They have to do their own manual plumbing because they don't have anything here for that.
What do we want to do today, guys? Was anybody wounded during the fight?
Not a scratch on us.
That's what I thought.
Well, if we are to continue on with Anne's requests blindly, I guess we should continue doing so, but I think that after this next one we might try to do a little more snooping.
Mm-hmm. Wait, what are we going to do, spiders or the barbarian woman?
The way I see it, if we head down to the trading post, there'll be plenty of opportunities to compare notes about what people think about Anne before we come back.
What is that? Is that something that's here? Is there a trading post here, or is that somewhere else? Just,
That's
okay,
where the
okay.
barbarian is. It's her trading post.
Ah, right. Yeah. Well, that was the plan for this session anyway, right? Just to head down there. So, let's make it out. Unless, I mean, how far away is this? Do we know? Did we get any kind of information on days of travel? How far away it is?
You'll probably have to talk to her because in order to trade the things, you'll need the trade goods she has.
What, you mean we'll have to talk to Anne?
Hmm?
Oh, okay. Well, I guess someone should just go talk to Anne then. I don't want to talk to Anne.
I did it last time.
No one wants to talk to Anne. Mike's good at it, regardless.
Except for let
Yeah,
us down before.
I can go talk to her again if you want.
Okay, so you get back to the tent. She's expecting you because, in order to stay here, you'll have to complete these tasks. So she says, "What is it going to be? What have you decided?"
What did we decide?
We're gonna go to the trade post.
The trading. Okay. So I say, yeah. We've decided to head to the trading post or trade post.
Very well. I have two trusted people. I'll send them with you. We have no mules, but we noticed that you do, so this is something that you can help us with. And you all have 2 mules and 2 war horses and 1 regular horse, right?
I think so. My horse is a regular horse. Of course.
Of course.
I had to throw that in there.
With your mules and our carts, you should be able to trade what we need for the wheat and the food stores that would help us survive the winter. If you are able to complete the bargain that we had discussed, you can eat here for free.
All right.
You'll have earned it. But there's a couple of things you should know. First of all, I wouldn't recommend telling Bug Juice where you came from. I wouldn't mention my name or what you've seen here.
Okay.
I would make up your own story. My friends Osgard and Carolyn will accompany you. And lastly, you should know that Bug Juice and her crew have their own strange rules. It's helped them survive out here, though. I would suggest doing what you need to try to fit in, if possible.
What do you mean by strange rules?
I suspect Bug Juice is not from the Isles. I don't know how she got here or when. But I think that they're from off the Isles, foreigners. They have strange customs, some of them ruthless. Sometimes they seem to promote criminal behavior that we would kill here for. Sometimes they'll kill you on the spot for it.
All right. Anything else?
No. It's in the mountains. It's at least several days' travel here. And that is if you go straight through the forests west. Now, out of character, the forests to the west are where the huge spiders are. If you don't go through the forest, you'll need to go nearly a week's travel several days to the south, to the hills, and then through the short wooded valley that enters a mountain pass.
All right.
We'll give you some of the food that your priest helped us with.
Yeah, we might need that.
All right. Out of character, they don't have a lot of food. So I'll say that not including what you already have, they'll also give each of you 3 days worth of food, including your hirelings. And you also don't have to worry about Oscar and Carolyn.
Alrighty.
3 days each.
Yeah, 3 days for each person, including your hirelings. Yeah, so you don't have to mark off food for 3 days, and then after that, you'll need food. Okay. At this, the guards enter, and there's these 2 people that enter the tent as well. There's a female wearing a chain shirt and other armor. What are those called? A nasal helm. It looks like, and with weapons, a sword. It looks like she's ready to travel. And then a tall, thin man in a jerkin and traveling boots. He doesn't look like he's wearing all kinds of armor and stuff, though. And the man says, "The name's Osgar. We've worked for Anne now for a few weeks."
How's that working out for you?
Working out great.
Glad to hear it.
Yep. They'll treat you fair here. I can't say the same thing with bug juice. But hey, we'll see how it goes. Or we'll starve to death.
Or we'll get eaten by spiders.
Or that.
Well, why don't I introduce you to the rest of my crew?
Let's do it. And he smiles cheerfully, and gathering down at the bottom of the hill, some of the cloaked figures are. They offer to hook your mules up to harnesses and to carts, and they're bringing in lumber, a reserve of lumber that they have. It seems that's the trade good that they're going to try to offer.
All right.
Well, I suggest we don't bring this through the woods. We'd be better off taking the longer route. I find that, the light shines best upon those who do not take shortcuts.
Well, don't we have to follow the river to get there?
I understood.
Oh, also, you know that people took that route or tried. There are people that took money from Solas and took off that way. But when you mentioned that, Carolyn, she's like, well, it's true. We could also follow the river. There's a small valley, a river valley, but it would have to travel through the forest in two places. It's a little bit longer than going straight through the forest, but not as long as if we were to travel all the way around through the foothills.
Yeah, still, I think with the treacherous terrain and the recent weather, it may become awfully slippery, and I'm not sure how well these mules are going to take, carrying carts on muddy terrain. And I'm assuming a river valley is going to have a big old fucking sliding ditch off the side of it, covered in rocks and underbrush that you really don't want to fall down. So.
Let me see. Let me just make
what
sure.
What does Big Dan think?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll just leave it to a vote to which way we go. I say we go to the valley, the long way.
I'll trust you. You're the ranger.
Yeah, you can trust my character, but don't trust me. I'm a fucking dumbass.
What? I mean, if we have enough food to go the long way.
Well, I have 8 days and I'm a ranger, so I can supplement.
We have enough
Maybe.
food.
And
We're playing
buy
our
a track.
cards close to the chest on this one, but I have a lot of food.
Yeah, I'm good too.
None of us are going to starve. Don't go advertising that, but none of us are going to starve.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah, so the long way then is probably better.
All right. Whoops.
So I'll vote for that too. If everybody, I don't know how other people want to vote.
My only concern would be taking the carts through the woods. That seems.
Well, yeah, that's why we're not going through the woods.
That would be hard.
That being my only concern, I'd say, whichever route is not that, and that's the valley, the long way.
If we don't get that lumber there, Anne and her people will starve.
All right. This opens into a big an open area. Just floodplains and grasslands. Let me make sure of something real quick. First, are we getting in here? I'm going to say no. Seeing if we were going into a new kind of biome here. And then I need to make some checks. Oh my god. Okay.
How bad is it?
Or refugees.
So right out the gate, oh my god. Probably just as you're leaving. So you're like here, and you start getting to right here, and you find an area of ground on. You probably crest a small rocky hill, just a small one, and get on the other side, and there are these brambles, and the brambles just erupt into these huge spiders. Now I'll give you all two options. One is that you can use your mercenaries, and I'll roll that right now. The other option is that you all can fight. You may have to do that anyway, but it's the mercenaries' job, and I can see how that goes.
How many?
6 of them. You can also try to
Are these carts like carts that we can sit on and stand on and stuff, or are they
stacked with wood?
Yeah.
You can also try to flee, of course. That would just take longer. You know, you'd have to like not go that way.
All right, democracy. I would rather fight.
Fight with mercenaries, or we take the front line.
What do you mean?
I'll take the front line.
Like I got a bow. That's my main thing. So I'll just try and pick them off with my bow. But other than that, like I don't see the point in us taking a back line and letting mercenaries die, or at least from my character's moral standpoint.
Okay.
Well, as their employer, I will be standing in the front line myself because I don't want my mercenaries to think that I'm lazy and weak.
All right. What about Bloombad and Rogarius?
Yeah, I'll go up there. I will also use my bow first. But basically, I'm not hiding in the back.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, do we have a round to get missile weapons off or no?
This will be. I'll do all that rolling in a second. I'm sorry. Let me.
Yeah, I'll go up. I mean, if I can get a slingshot in first, I'll do that.
The good news is that you do outnumber them.
Ooh.
Are Krogon's minions still with us?
Yep.
Krogon will draw his massive sword and charge.
Yeah, I'll charge right up there with him.
They do have pull
I would like Krogon, the classic. I'm gonna pull my sword out and I'm gonna run it. Yeah.
Come count the dead. I will do this. You realize? I'll see you.
Issue some order. At my back, men, with those pole arms.
Mosquito. And Malar and Rudicon slinking in the shadows as hoping for us. Second level thieves. Rudicon is going to shoot his crossbow. And Malar.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on. I got a lot to process here. I apologize. First thing I got to do is see if you all are surprised. See if
There's only a 1 in 6 chance.
Only a 1 in 6 chance.
I'm a ranger.
And
I'm not
they are all right. So actually, why don't you roll that Solos? All right. Yeah. So you are not surprised. And then hold on just a second. Okay. Come here. All right. First thing, so we're not running away, and no one is casting a spell. Actually, so I will have I'll have Euelis cast a spell. So he'll do it at the end of the round.
Would be cool.
He is going to probably well, that's not going to work. I don't think he has anything that could really be useful for this.
Bless?
Let me see.
Cast that before
people
combat.
join the combat.
Yeah.
It should be just before people join melee, right?
He'll have to do it on his turn, but yeah, he could do that if you ask him to for his prayers. He will offer them.
For sure.
All right, and any other spells? No. Okay. Now, what is the plan? Solas.
I mean, my plan is to try and loose some arrows into these things. If they seem like outwardly hostile. What time of day is it? Is it still just the crack of dawn?
Yeah, so this was just as you all started to leave. You encountered this within the first hour. So it's probably around 9 a.m. or so.
Yeah, I'll just grab some arrows from my quiver, hold them in my hand, get ready to fire. I don't have any shenaniganery ideas for dealing with spiders. I mean, how big are these things?
Huge.
Does anyone have poison protection?
Yeah, I'll try my best to, like aim for the mouth.
Okay, so fighting. All right, and no other tricks, plans, ideas, stunts, nothing like that. Okay. All right.
Apply fighters directly to the affected area. That's our plan.
Absolutely. Okay. in that case, Solas, you going to roll a d6 for initiative? The spiders are able to act first.
How many
Wait,
hit
our
die?
actual distances? Why am I up in the front?
You all said you wanted to be in the front. I asked.
I didn't say that. I said I was in the back of my boat.
I
but
thought it was
it's
just
fine.
me, Bloombad, and Krogon who wanted to be up in the front.
Okay.
And the mercenaries,
Yeah.
too, right? I thought we were all...
The mercenaries should be in the second rank.
I mean, I'll put the fearless Euelis up front. He's willing to do that. And then
May I?
I'd rather have him hang back and have a mercenary up front instead of him. He's worth more.
Do the fighters get their multi attack against these, or are they more than one hit die?
let's see here. They are a lot more than one hit. Oh, wait, hold on. They're more than one hit die. They're more than one hit die.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, here we go. Bloombad. 8 misses, I think, right? And then Euelis misses, and then Kellic does a 14 hit.
A 21 hits.
Nice. Excellent.
Yikes. Yeah, but I'll fail my save.
Misses. Yeah. Krogon misses. Ah, you are lucky today. And then lastly, one out on the flank misses. And it's your all's turn.
Should we flee these foul beasts or slay them?
Yeah, I'm just immediately, launching a couple arrows. I'll try and.
If you aim at this one down here, I'll say that you don't have to worry about hitting anybody because it's out on the edge.
Oh. All right, I'll aim at the one out on the edge.
I'll do that too. I got an 11.
Krogan hates spiders.
11 misses. You have to hit an ascending armor class 13.
I got a 3 and a 7.
A 3 and a 7. Okay. All right.
Bloombad and I both hit.
Bloombad. All right, and damage.
5.
5 damage. Okay.
Hey Dan, how you doing?
Ooh, Krogon.
All right.
Yes.
Let's see. And I'm sorry. And then Bloombad, how much damage did you do?
I did 5.
And then and Kellic?
3 from Kellic.
Are you all targeting the one that was attacking you?
Yeah, just
Okay.
I don't know how I had someone else, one of the ones in front of me, and then there will be the mercs. That's our saving.
I'll get them in a second, and then Krogon. But yeah, thanks for reminding me. You're muted.
Oh, he hit for 12.
12 damage.
12 damage.
All right, you Krogon, you take it out. How do you kill it? What does it look like?
The foul beast. It's foul because I cut his abdomen and then sprays all this goo all over me.
Yeah, the goo just sprays up into the air, sprays onto your face and everything. It then curls up into this fat wad with its legs sticking up in the air. All right, and then also, what about your 2 henchmen?
Oh, of course.
Meanwhile, I'll roll for these mercenaries.
Do you want me to roll for... One has a crossbow and...
Nice.
Malar, sneaky fucker. You can get him in the back. Oh, pardon my language. Sorry.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, and then let's see. I think that's not the second one's not going to hit.
I rolled a 19 for his crossbow.
Let's see. That's going to kill that one, but this one it's not.
2 points damage from the crossbow henchman.
Which one were you attacking?
The one on the bottom.
Okay, and how many points of damage?
2.
2, okay. All right, and let's see. So I got 3 mercenaries. I've got too many on the screen. There's only 3 mercenaries left, if I recall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I have too many.
Robocon, can he try to flank it? Or Malar, pardon.
Melee, you mean to like try to get a sneak attack? Yeah, you could, I think you could do that.
Okay, next round? Or...
No, I mean, yeah, you could go ahead and attack with a sneak attack. I think with what's going on.
19?
19 hits.
Double damage? Beef? Stab? Or is that a thing? 10 points damage?
All right, and then he just like jumps out of the woods and jumps on this thing and rips it open, stabs it, lands on it.
Oh, wow.
And then Faircar is going to just take his turn to move. It's kind of hard for him to get a shot, and he's definitely not going to risk his life. And then what about Regarius? You were shooting. Okay, yeah, you're shooting the one on the edge. And then Solas. Yeah. Okay. And then, all right, and then Uelis already attempted an attack. All right, Solas, roll a d6 for initiative. Oh, no.
Oh, shit.
Gotta get a 6. Oh, no.
Oh.
All right, Father Bloombad. Misses. Kellic. Misses. Mercenaries. Misses. Nice. Okay, and it's your all's turn.
Gonna launch some more arrows.
All right.
Oh,
yeah, wait a second. If you fire arrows in this turn, there's a chance if you miss, you'll hit somebody.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Instead, I'll move up here, draw my sword, and attack this guy.
Okay.
Because I have a -1 dex for shooting.
All right, Krogon. And
oh no!
Does that include your attack bonus? It does, yeah, because it's from the sheet.
Yeah. Yes, it does. Yeah.
All right, and then Kellic, you hit.
I'm glad I didn't shoot my bow.
You hit for 4 damage. All right. And that's for your.
I think I'm going to follow the same plan and draw my sword and get up next to Krogon.
Nice.
Malar hits. Where's Malar at? He's. I'm not going to give him the benefit. I'm assuming you moved him up to melee with Malar.
Yeah, I was hoping that. Yes.
Okay. All right, and then I'm not going to give him the benefits of a sneak attack on that one at this point, but Let's see, that's across from the other one. Okay.
Not 20 though. But
Rudicon, Solas misses. All right, and then I'm going to start rolling for Euelis, who's going to move up here. He misses. And then the mercenaries are going to close in on the remaining 2 here. And at this, Faircar is actually going to move in and try to help. He's not utterly useless, actually. And he hits.
Sweet.
And then the mercenaries. These 2 down at the bottom hit. 2 and 3. Killing that one and that one. These are mindless monsters fighting for their lives. It's not going to just scurry away.
Shoot.
Yeah, I'm just there trying to make it look like I helped.
Who helped?
you did awesome.
Actually, I changed my mind.
You
I'm
didn't
going to
get
see.
surprised. That's
All right, he doesn't run
plenty
away.
of help, even if you did no attacking.
Yeah, the ranger thing is OP in this. All right, so Solas, D6.
Oh, come on, win initiative this time. Hey!
All right, you are able to attack.
Yeah, I'll rush up to this one. I'll try and...
All right, that hits.
Oh, look at me. I roll amazing today.
Is there even space around it for more people?
Yeah, I'll say sure. Yeah.
Ooh, I whacked it, I think, 13.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll move up then as well.
Just pile on.
Yeah.
I did.
Get out of the way.
Krogon with the just absolute
Everyone is just like, with some civility, everyone else is just like, all right, let's take out this last one. You move forward, you start hacking at it.
Just
it screeches. It's like, it raises its legs up, and then Krogon just jumps to the air and just chops it in 2.
How do you chop it in 2?
12 damage.
Yeah, I know. It's just great, isn't it?
I'm just getting up there and he vaults over my shoulders.
I like how the dice gods are just in Krogon's favor for like making it on character.
Every session, you know, it's like,
This is why.
You know, in the village I came from, I was considered tall.
Now, Russ, can I ask, as a ranger, is there any kind of bullshit way I could maybe try and harvest some of these things' venom that if they've got like a venom gland,
You know what?
or if they're just like weird chaos creatures?
I'm gonna say, I'll make you a deal. But first, let me. What was I gonna say? I can't remember what I was gonna say. Okay. All right. So you slew all the spiders, dead spiders all around you in this nest that they came out of. I will out of character. I think it's worth saying that if one of these things had hit you and you failed to save, you would die instantly.
Yep.
And you dispatch them quickly. As far as harvesting something weird out of them, because you're a ranger, I'm going to say it will take all day, and you have to pass a save, and it will take all day either way. However, if you get it, you'll have. And also, actually, this is one of the weird things I do in this game. I don't do this in my BX game. Where do you put it? Like if you have a bunch of.
I have a flask.
And it's not your water. It's not where you're drinking your water out of, right?
It probably was when I originally bought it, but I have a water skin as well.
Ah, okay. So you have a flask. I'm going to say that you're going to need a few containers, 3 containers. But if you do this, you will literally have containers of spider venom.
and Ross, is there
Right?
an
Does anyone else have a container to donate?
I have an empty wine bottle.
And I also don't know if you want to take the risk of taking all day and extracting this. I'll say those 2 things are enough. What were you saying, Darren?
just wondering if I could actually rub the venom and like step on their heads and squeeze and see if I can get some goo onto my blade.
So I'm going to say that if you can if Solos can extract this venom, then you can use it in that way before a fight or during a fight if you take the action of using a venom.
Yeah. One of the flasks definitely goes to Krogon to just, you know.
Right. So it comes down to this. This is going to take all day. So you're going to have to camp out not very far from where you started. You'll be actually back here.
It's a little dangerous because I'm a little worried about you poisoning yourself. I have to say. But I got gloves and stuff. As long as I don't cut myself, it's venom, not poison. I should be okay. True. All right.
Make a wisdom saving throw, and if you pass, you've got.
What does that mean?
Roll a d20 to overcome your saving throw number on your character sheet, and you can add your wisdom modifier to your d20.
Okay, what is my wisdom modifier if I have a 13? Because it doesn't say crap on the sheet, and
1.
Obviously a 1. Okay.
He's just been using the BX breakpoints 13, 16, 18.
Okay, so I failed.
Crap.
Because I rolled terribly today.
Okay, so this is a very difficult thing to do. You also find that this nest of spiders is a juvenile nest. These were the little boys, and they were off by themselves. Something maybe has happened that separated them from the nest at some point, or they migrated, or I don't know. But it's a difficult thing to do, and you weren't able to do it. And it takes the day, and 2 more things happen. Let's see.
Could.
It was worth a shot.
I think so.
Yeah. No, if that worked out, I think the risk would have outweighed the reward would have outweighed the risk.
Yeah, dunking an arrow in some of that stuff would have been nice.
Wizard's a real game changer.
You encounter 5 people in the wilderness that it looked like there are 5 more people that were they were trying to leave Anne's fort at some point in the past. They're level 0s. They start begging you for food and security and to follow you.
What was my share of the last lot of money we got? Can I just give them some gold and tell them to go away?
You can give them some gold and tell them to go away. Absolutely, they'll take your gold.
Well, you know what? We do have 2 extra set of ring mail, right? Some crossbows, didn't we?
Yeah,
I have 2 extra short bows, some extra arrows. We have extra ring mail. I've got extra chainmail and halberds from the 2 dead mercenaries who were along with us if we want to use their equipment, but
All right.
I don't know if these guys can use armor or if we want to take them along with us. I don't know how useful they'll be.
I'll see how many of them are willing to be torchbearers and fighters. They're not very good, and seeing as they know how dangerous it is out here, 4 of them, 2 of them are like, we're just going to go back to Anne's fort. This was insane. And 4 of them are like, we're already out here. We'll do it. We'll take the armor and the bows, and they agree to accompany if you feed them.
See, that was why I was wanted to send them all off, because of the food.
Why don't we just keep two of them? Send the other 2 with the other ones. Or do you guys want all of them?
No, I don't think we need any of them.
Oh, okay, all right.
But if you guys can think of a use for them, we've got the gear to equip them, and we've got enough.
Yeah, no, I concur that we should send them on their way. I mean, that would be my opinion, but.
All right,
okay, that's 3. What do the others think?
I'm kind of leaning towards equipping them.
Okay.
I mean, they could be arrow sponges. I mean,
Yeah,
it's true, but yeah, I'm ambivalent.
I have 11
What does
days.
Krogon
food.
think?
I don't think it's acceptable around here to sacrifice them to the storm god. Perhaps let them free.
All right, so we got let's see, 2 for, 2 against, and then what was Solas's? I think it's letting them go.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, it's just sending them off and making sure that like maybe give them some gold or something to help them along their way if they don't have any means to defend themselves or whatever, if we have that spare.
Yeah, do you have 5 gold pieces?
Yeah, I'll give them 5 gold pieces.
They consider that a whole lot, and they continue on their way. And then lastly,
Could they tell our names? Now, give them 10 more gold pieces, say. Tell them all about us.
all right.
Tell us all our names. This is brother so-and-so. It's my friend. Kalak. Father. Religious man.
Okay, yeah, you proclaim the names of the heroes in your company as Solas is trying to work to to get the poison glands out of these giant spiders and stuff, and they take your names with them, and they promise to spread your fame for 10 gold, which is a lot of money for them. Let's see, I got why did I roll a 6? No, I got a 7.
One of these days, we're going to run into someone in the wilderness, and Krogon's going to shout his name as he's charging, and they're going to be like, "Oh, I've heard of you."
Hey, I know that guy.
I got a tattoo.
Is that a time-gone demon?
Solas, roll a d6.
Oh, shit.
Krogon has spent his whole fortune partying at this point, by the way, everyone. He's completely broke.
Nice. You realize as night starts to set, and you're not making any luck in trying to get the poison out of these things.
Yeah, and I'm covered in all kinds of viscera, I assume.
Yeah. It's colorful and pungent, and you can see as the sun is setting, off in the fields away from you to the north, about 100 yards away, you can see that telltale sign that you're starting to notice where something seems like brush or terrain, and then it shifts. And you know from looking at that's another spider nest that's within 100 yards of your campsite as night falls.
Okay. I'll say, lads, we have a problem. There's another nest of the bastards just about 100 yards that way.
Before you met up with us, we had this happen once before. We were camped out just a couple 100 yards from a whole mess of the spiders in a forest. We stoked up the flames and they let us be.
Do we have oil and torches?
We have
I have 2 pints of oil and a torch. So, I mean, if we want to torch them, that could be done.
Do we have a way to fight poison?
I was just talking about stoking up our campfire so that it's a big fire.
Oh yeah, we could do that.
Deter them last time. They are not attracted to the bright lights, or at least they didn't seem to be when we were 200 yards outside their home.
These ones may be hungrier. We don't know.
That's true.
As far as stoking the campfire, I'll say you're running into the same problem you had last time, because just hours, a day ago, there was this downpour, like what's happening to me in Kentucky right now. And so trying to find firewood is very difficult. So if you sacrifice an old flask and use materials, maybe the spiders themselves and things that you have, maybe you can create enough of a conflagration to be able to get a campfire going. The downside is it'll take an old flask and it will create a lot of noise and smoke. Because it's going to be a moist fire, it's going to put out all sorts of smoke.
So, could we actually take a bunch of corpses of the earlier spiders we had slain and make like totems out of them to say like stay the fuck out?
Effigies.
Turn you into
Damn.
these. We'll kill you all. And see
Wasn't
if
that like hours of travel back from where we are?
You're right.
No, the dead. You're still at the dead spiders that you.
Oh,
felt
really?
yeah,
That's as far as we got today?
Yeah, because that was the catch.
Oh, right, because we stayed for the whole day. In that case, sure, why not?
And we could make it like a symbolic barrier and just say, look, you want to come here, we'll fight, yeah? You leave us alone.
Okay. I have no idea how. I assume that insects work the opposite. That if you kill them, some of them have a mechanism where they all just swarm into wherever you're hurting them.
Ants, yeah. The spiders being communal is fucked up. Like that just freaks me out every time I see it. Because spiders don't do that most of the time.
Oh, dude, they're not reacting like I thought. Let's run away.
Although we were told that these spiders have a queen and that they kind of behave in an almost ant-like fashion with respect to
yeah. That would. I want to meet the ant queen and like, I don't know, get like I don't know, bit in the brain and like understand spider people.
I know.
Oh shit, Ross, is that an adventure? Which way do we go for that?
That's a solo adventure you can schedule anytime you can find Ross. I will say what I know of ants is that they will follow bodies that are just left, but they will not go anywhere near the smell of burnt ants. So,
hey, what if we rub ourselves
burn
in
these bodies
from the dead
that
stuff?
might not be so attractive.
Do you want to try to do the fire and the bodies? You want to do both? Takes a
on the
flask,
fire.
though.
You don't have a degree in biology.
Oh, I
don't have a degree in biology, but I have a player who's,
knows his ants.
I know some stuff.
So I will, along the lines of not having a degree in biology, I definitely don't. So I've made a roll for it, which I'm not going to reveal. So is the plan to use the, so I can't even account to tell you how these chaos mutated spiders work. I don't know, but I made a roll for it and I'm not going to tell you what happened, but I just want to make sure I understand. Is the plan to use the bodies? Do you want to use the fire as well plan with it, or just the bodies, or something else? And I'll hand it back to Solas since you're the group caller. Sorry.
I think the group consensus is both, or am I incorrect?
I'm here for both.
All right, I make one roll for that.
Yeah.
And that'll also take an oil flask. But here we go.
Okay.
All right, very lucky, very close. All right, it creates this big thing of smoke that goes up into the night, and you make this huge fire, and you put the bodies of the spiders up like spider scarecrows out on the edge of the campsite, and you find you're left in peace for the night throughout the watches that remain. The sun rises the next day. Let me make a few checks here. All right, that's good. Oops. Okay. And are you going to continue toward kind of the long way around, being guided by Osgar and Carolyn?
Yep.
Okay. All right, you make it about this far. You make it several hours into the day, and it's about high afternoon, and there are 5 people running across the fields. Wait, wait, wait! And they're running and they're tripping over themselves and everything. And it's 5 of the people that you sent on their way with gold, and one of them is missing.
Oh.
What ails you, traveler?
And they get to you and they fall down at your feet and they're like, "She's dead! She's dead! Giant spiders! Giant spiders! Please, please let us go with you. We don't stand a chance out here." And they beg for food and protection.
Yes, we must protect them. Children and
Yes,
women.
we will try to avoid you being killed, but I do not have spare provisions. So let's hope that the light shines upon you and finds us some deer tracks or something.
Hold a moment, Solas. I have a thought. Do you know the way down to Bugjuice's camp to the southwest? Any of you?
The barbarians?
That's right. That's where we're headed.
No, we've never been there. That's a week's travel from here, we've heard.
A week's travel. What else have you heard about it?
They look at each other. Well, there's some crazy barbarians that live there. They, some people say they eat each other. Some people say that they have murder pits where they pit one another against each other and kill the innocent. And I don't know. One of them is like, I've also heard that it's the largest outlaw settlement here in the Forest of Hope.
Sounds like home.
Well, that's where we're headed.
people are
If you want to
differing.
chance it with us on the road, that's where you're going.
Anything, just anything. We don't stand a chance out here, obviously. We're not going to make it back to Anne's Fort.
What about Anne's people that she sent with us? Do they know these people?
Yeah, they're like, one of them's like, Osgar's like, "You shouldn't have left."
What about, is it a week's travel? I asked Oscar.
Yeah, it's about a week's travel or so.
Oh, I thought it was less than that.
Probably be several days. We have to make it down past these. You see those, a small mountain over there. The safest way is if we go through that. That will keep us out of these spider nests and out of the open fields where other bandits can prey on us, and it'll keep us out of the forest. And then on the other side, we have to go through a valley. It's wooded, and then into a mountain pass. Then we'll be in the mountains. It's the only mountain range here in the Forest of Hope.
Right. Then here's the deal. If you want to travel with us, you'll fetch and carry. Any good kindling you see along the road, you pick up, you carry it all the way with you. We'll need as much for fires as we can get. Every night. But I'll feed you.
They say, thank you. Now, is that...
Yes, and
is
should
that
you
okay?
perish, you agree to surrender your heads to Krogon for his collection.
One of them starts weeping to herself.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was only a joke.
They are not happy.
All
I had
right.
to be there, I guess.
You travel into
Yeah, I guess.
a rocky, crumbly kind of stone reek with this rough, scrubby plants that kind of cover it. He winds you up to the top of it, and from there you can see further. Which is another benefit of taking that higher terrain. It takes a little bit longer, and night falls at the top of this place. You can see out on one side the forest that just stretches on for miles, and then on the opposite side you can see stretching on all the way out into the mists at the edge of the horizon of your sight for miles is just grass and swamplands and yeah, wetlands.
All right. What was the weather like today?
It's been clear. I mean, other than just like the visibility is reduced because of the storms.
Are we setting up camp now? Is that the time of day?
Yeah, and
that we're setting up.
Night has also fallen, which I never assume when I say that. I never assume you're setting up camp. You have to let me know because you could keep marching. You know, you could march into the darkness for a period of time, and you know, it's up to you all. But you're currently.
Well, does anyone want to march into the darkness?
And in this case, Osgar is like, I wouldn't suggest that. Not here. Okay.
Not here. Why, Osgar? Do you have any stories to tell about this area?
Alright, well, nothing that needs a story. You saw what this place has to offer back there with those dead spiders. This hill will give us the best chance to stay away from that. And I'll tell you what's worse than spiders. People. Even if it's just people that can see us. So, staying up here is it's a good idea. Let's see, so this is the third day. Right? Sun rises on the next day. Continue traveling. Until you make it, actually you wouldn't go that way. You would go here into this valley. I'll actually put you right out on the other side. You wouldn't be in this hex, but you'd be like right on the edge, but you'd make it into this lightly forested area, into a valley at the foot of a mountain pass, kind of on the miles on the near side of it. And let's see, make a roll for something. Nice. Okay. And night falls again on the fourth day. At this point, you'll need to subtract, I guess if it's you, Kellic, you'll need to subtract 5 rations from the previous day for these 5 people you picked up. And then on this next day, everyone is going to have to subtract rations. Krogon, do you have rations for your people?
Getting pretty low. It's been... I have 1 day left.
1 day. All right. And you have rations for your 2 henchmen too, right?
No, well, no, that's it. It's gone. I have 1 day.
Including the henchmen, yeah. Okay. And then, all right. And then I assume, Kellic, you're going to cover these 5 people. Huh?
I had 7 days, and it's gone.
And I will say that, because they're not anyone's henchmen, I'll say that Fergar and Euless are kind of on track with you all. They've been making their own arrangements. They're currently hirelings.
When Anne gave everybody 3 rations, did she give like Krogon's hirelings 3 each also?
Yes, and this would be the last day. So okay. The next day you'll have to count down rations. Okay, and the sun rises on the 4th day of your journey. So
can I try to keep an eye out for any animal tracks or anything today? Things that look like, edible beasts?
Yeah, you can totally go hunting, unless the ranger has a specific feature for it, like in OSE. You can just make a simple check for it. And if you succeed on the check, the downside is that it's going to take you hours of time. It'll take you 1 period of the day, which you won't be able to travel in. But other people could do other things during that time as well if you decide you want to sacrifice that amount of time. Is that something that you all want to do? Other people could... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, what if he found an area where we could forage, he could go hunt? Maybe we could double up on collecting rations. Yeah,
I'll say I'll do a kind of a degree. Well, yeah. Is that something? What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. Well, then, what is Regarius and Kellic and Krogon doing? If Bloombad, if you're foraging, and then Scumbag, does Solos have like a class-specific feature, like a thing specifically?
There's the tracking thing. So basically, if there is tracks around, I have a 90% chance to find them if they're like within a couple days old, and then it goes down based on basically whatever you adjudicate in terms of just tracking. But there's no specific like, oh, you can just hunt food feature.
All right, why don't you make I'll kind of do a degree of success thing and roll a wisdom save and do your tracking check.
So this is +1. You know, I rolled trash today, so.
Oh no! All right, and that's not.
And
gonna
then, well, just.
Or does that pass?
Just within the 90. Yeah, just by being one shy.
Well, then, in that case, that's simple. You find tracks. I'll say that you can find if you have to be able to find the tracks, and you have to be able to successfully kill the things, and they're deer. So
okay.
You find some deer, and I'll say that it's going to take arrows for each that you kill, but you have to hit them. So you also have to roll to attack. If you hit them...
Okay.
Good.
So how many should I just make all the attacks?
Just make one attack.
Okay.
You're either going to get them or you're not. I'm going to roll a d4. That hits, and you manage to kill 3 deer. So
okay, take down 3 arrows. All right.
And I'll say that some of these people came with you, right? Like, especially like Fairgoss, Fairgar probably went with you. So you're able to kind of like throw these things over your shoulder and track back.
Yeah.
I'm also going to do your check during this time to see if you get an encounter. You don't, so that's lucky. This alone is enough food, but you're going to have to take the time to work on it right now, which is going to be another period of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're going to have to hoist it up in a tree and gut it and all that stuff.
Yep. But
I'll share the hearts with the people who came on the hunt.
Nice. I will say that this will feed everyone in the group for 3 days, but it'll also expire. It's not something that can be kept.
Mm-hmm.
What about the foraging? Like if I took Ellis and those 5 refugees and went like for nuts, berries, and mushrooms and whatnot.
Sure. Make a wisdom save.
Success.
All right. You find enough food just for the people you take with you for 1 day.
So 7 of us.
Yep. Well, yeah.
And then I'll confirm the edibility of them with the ranger.
Yeah. And you find edible berries and you're able to separate it out. What's Rogarius, Krogon, and Kellic doing during this time? You could scout and gain information about the area. You could try to gain other supplies if you felt it was useful. You could try to gain more information from some of the NPCs. I'm just throwing out ideas, you know.
How about
you get into a fist fight?
Do we have a fire going?
It's during the daytime.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably hang out with the NPCs and just kind of chat it up with them, try to figure out, like, where are people coming from? Why are they in the Forest of Hope? Just see if anything strange stands out about anybody's story.
These 5 people, they talk about, when you ask about it, I'm just going to bring up the thing I posted, because this is pretty much... people haven't really hidden this. That helps me as kind of like a reference. So basically, there's South of here is this other estuary that goes in from the sea, and called as part of this barony called Eastreach, and the whole area is kind of called Amrin. And there's like another little settlement called Amrin's Ferry, and then a town that is like the northernmost town called Eastgate. What's happened is Eastgate has essentially fallen, and there's this like typical thing that you would have in war where it's just displaced people. Like, people are just scattered. If they haven't been murdered or enslaved or sold, then they're like fleeing for their lives into the woods. And there's all these people that have migrated up into the Forest of Hope in the past couple of seasons. And most of them have come from Windows. Most of them have come from Eastgate.
Okay. I'll also see if I can pick up any additional rumors about the forest or the Mouth of Doom and the dungeon. Maybe see if I can get another.
Absolutely. Yeah, you get. You can get a. Let me make sure that you get the right type of roll. You can make, well, let's start with this. Roll a D2.
Two.
A 2. All right, and then roll a D10.
Ten.
10. One of them who is sitting here eating some of the food that you're offering them, they say you're asking about the area and everything, and it's a middle-aged man who's very thin, almost emaciated. He says, "No one comes out of this forest the same. It changes people. People here, I don't mean that their personalities change. I don't mean who they are changes. I mean that they change. They physically change. This place changes people. And the further down into the forest or in the depths this place you go, the faster that change happens. It's cursed. This whole land is cursed." And then another one of the people that are with you is like, basically is like, "Oh, don't listen to him. He's crazy. He's just like who wouldn't feel that way about after everything they've experienced with the spiders and the death. Bara is just like, he's lost his mind. So just pity him."
Yeah. Sounds like crazy talk as I think about the girl we're working for hiding behind that screen.
And the Spider Queen confirmed. She's got 8 legs.
And last check. Alright.
So during the... Oh, you're still doing...
No, I'm done.
During this time, Krogon's undecided on what he's doing for the day as well, right?
Krogan has tromped off and come back with some moss, and he's been singing in the woods. And he brings the moss forth, and he says, "Bury your chest, anyone who wants to partake in my ceremony." And he asks all the players.
What ceremony would that be?
At the time, I'm taking part in the ceremony if I'm not busy.
Yeah, and everybody's back.
And I'm not sure how Ross is gonna go along with this.
No sex, right? No sexy stuff.
No. Sorry.
All right. No, then go wild. As long as
whatever. Gathered mosses and precious fungi in the forest and come back and had been singing loudly, and he proclaimed anyone who wanted to partake in his ritual could come forth and bare their chest.
All right.
And have this a simple moss put on their chest, a chunk of it.
All right. Sounds like Solas is doing it.
Yeah, for sure. I'll take my armor off and...
It was going to give them either a hyper-real sense or give them +1 defense.
Ah, like you want to try to give some kind of medicinal benefit. I like it.
Or like a placebo, quote-unquote, but it's like, you are the spirit, you are the warrior, you're with me, and we both like mark our eyes with these marks, and you are a warrior.
Yeah, you take this like hoary, old, ancient, nasty smelling moss, like this peat, and you just use it to like mark them and stuff. I like that. So I'll just leave it up to a save, and it'll count for the next day.
It's like we are fighting some truly bad creatures. Take this and go forth.
So make a either a charisma or a wisdom save.
Krogan?
Yeah, for Krogan.
Oh, his charisma's pretty good.
Krogan, priest of Crom.
Thing. Okay, hold on. I'll just tap the button.
Oof. Oh wait, that's a D10 though.
Oh, well, that's a D10.
Oh, pardon me. Oh, because I hit. Pardon me.
Nice. 18. All right. Yeah. So you can. I'll say that you can take a +1 benefit to one specific thing for the next day.
What do you feel, my friends? What do you think?
I mean, I would feel like invigorated, and like, you know, I probably don't want to wear my armor the next day. I'll keep that, you know, like get a +1 to AC. I'll just use my shield and just be like, you know, be like Krogan.
So I'll say that it shifts your 2d6 reaction for morale checks and reaction rolls for anything that would actually apply in this situation. Spiders aren't going to care that you painted your face, right? But if it applies, it'll shift it +1. The 2d6 reaction.
Sure.
Always spook people.
Yeah, nice. Spook people, yeah. Okay, so you got food. This takes one more check. It takes 2 periods of the day. That makes it now... oops.
Well,
let's see.
Hang on. During the downtime day, I'd like to ride out with some of the men on the horses that are not being used and get the lay of the land.
Ah, okay. You can also just make a check for that, a wisdom saving throw, or you do intelligence.
I'm not sure that I'm great for either.
Yeah, we'll see.
Save's a save.
You have an equal chance of absolutely anything happening. Ooh.
All right. The way I do that is when people scout ahead. I'm not always going to do these, like, but I do this in another game. Let's see here. Did I already? I don't think I did the other checks. So it's currently noon. So I'm going to do their last 3 checks. And sure enough, as you depart, you spot something. And what scouting does is it allows you to see it. I know what you see. I got to do some checks here. Give me a moment. You see in the forest. So you start like skirting the hills. You come back around to the tree line, and just as you're starting to make it back around to the tree line, and kind of like flower pedaling, kind of looping back to where you all are, or where everyone else is, on horseback, you can see in the forest the shapes of about 100 yards away a large number, or a large humanoid figures. Where's my... Get pretty good at finding this stuff. Let's see. There are about 14 of these large figures. Large humanoid figures is what you see. And they're coming kind of toward where everyone is camped. Not camped, but, you know, like if there were a base of operations, if you will.
14?
14 of them.
Okay. Before I just ride hard back, can I assess what they look like at all? Do they look human but too big? Do they look not human at all? Do they have fur?
They look human but too big in terms of their silhouette, and hunched and too wide. If you were to make out anything more specific than that, you'll need to ride closer.
I'm good. I'm good not riding closer. I think we'll signal to the men to turn around and head back to camp.
All right.
Oh, one more thing. Were they obviously armed?
It does look like it.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. All right, you ride back to camp.
Where are we camped? Relative to the terrain.
Yeah, so there's this kind of like valley that's on the other side of a sparse, kind of a less wooded area that connects the forest north to south. After you break the tree line, that's where I assumed you still have a couple of miles before you get to the mountain pass to the west. And that's kind of where I assumed that you split up and did these things. And what I would imagine you and then one person on horseback did is you probably went toward the mountain pass and then looped around kind of flower petal style to recon, you know, and you covered the south area. And just as you were turning south and the tree line is where you would have seen these things down into the forest. And they're headed towards where you all stopped. Does that make sense? Lots of theater of mind details. Very good at spatial reasoning.
Okay, so here's what I got. Well, of course, I'll let everyone know as soon as I get back. What are other folks doing when I get back? I don't know how early on into the day that was.
I can
if
actually...
everyone else is still out scavenging and stuff.
I could more easily draw it on here. Go ahead, though. Yeah. Sorry, don't let me interrupt you.
No, that was a question. Who's going to be back by the time that I arrive at camp? By your reckoning, Ross?
Oh, who's going to be... No, everybody's back. Yeah, you can... Everybody's back, yeah. So, and then we got mountains with a mountain pass in the middle. And so I would imagine that you probably did like if you started here, Solas went kind of towards the woods, and then some of them went foraging, some of them stayed, and you did this bit kind of loop, and you got to about right here, and then you saw these things in the woods coming toward the camp. Did I make it worse? Is that even more confusing?
Not at all. This is useful.
But now everybody's back, including you. and these things are on their way in your direction. You know that.
Okay. I'm going to...
If I didn't know any better, I would say that was a Jackson Pollock painting.
I'm going to gather to a couple of the men. If anyone else is back at camp and wants to come with me, I'm going to instruct someone to smother the fire and put a tarpaulin over it, one of the oilcloths that we were going to use as a tent, my tent if no one else wants to use theirs, to stifle the smoke. Yeah. I'm going to head out with someone to a nearby hill and set a false fire there if there's time. If we're nowhere near far enough ahead of these guys for that, then we're just going to suit up and get arrows ready. Other thoughts?
Oh,
sounds good.
Yeah, sounds really good.
Scumbag. All right, so false fire. Neat. 2 people on horseback. Yeah, you got 2 horses. What about everybody else, Scumbag?
I mean, I'm trying to keep people safe. Is there anyone else here who also uses like a bow and stuff? Because, I mean, if these things are if we're just trying to get out of the way, like, where is this fire being lit?
If you make it here, so this is about 1.5 miles away, probably. So it's going to take a while. It's not going to, if you're moving, you'll have to move before they get that fire set. It's not going to be like the fire set, and then you can move, if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I want to try and keep vision of them, so I would suggest that we either go, like, west or whatever the direction is, into the hills or into the trees, but I also wouldn't be averse having my face painted like this to just absolutely act fearless and just stick with my buddy Kroger. But yeah, it's up to what are the rest of the people thinking.
Good call. I'll follow suit.
If you want to move camp, we can just leave the fire and skedaddle.
This is during the daytime anyway. Like, this wasn't nighttime. There's no fire or anything. Unless you want to.
I thought we were prepping meat.
Oh yeah, you gotta prep meat, yeah. And I'll say it's prepped, don't worry. Like, you took the time to do it, so you got it. Okay. So what I'm hearing is, either way, false fire and then move into the hills. Get out of here. Did I hear that right, Scumbag?
Well, yeah, just get out of the way so that we can let them pass, and hopefully we don't get noticed. I guess that was what Martin wanted to accomplish with the false fire, right?
Yeah, if we're gonna move camp, we don't need to do a false fire. We just leave the one that was at camp, and that will be a distraction enough. We won't be there.
All right. You all head into the mountain pass. If you provide a rear guard, you see them in fact do stop and inspect the fire off in the distance. I assume you don't get very close. You don't notice them. There's just this large group of people, of humans that are too big and too wide to be a human. And
how tall are they? Like, can we use the trees as like a measuring stick?
They are slightly bigger than a man, like 6 to 7 to 8 feet tall or so, but not tree size. They're not like 10 feet tall or anything.
So maybe ogres.
All right. So you make it into the mountain pass. This makes it early afternoon, and you can see the campfires and things of a site off in the distance.
This could be good or bad news. Keep your wits about you.
The enemy.
I'll be right back. I gotta do a quick step away for a second, but I'll be back in 10 seconds.
All right.
Although I'd be more trustworthy of whoever lives here than whatever the fuck Anne ever has to say.
Yeah. Well, there are all sorts of, well, I'll describe it here. A ragtag amalgamation of tents, lean-tos, and mere bedrolls near rocks and things set within the wilderness. there's just kind of like this picture is actually really good. These jutting rocky reeks all around, and all around that, scattered around, are fires and fireplaces and wagons, and it seems like there's a little tiny, almost like a village that's grown up here of peoples. They are, some of them trading things. You can even see some of them fighting. You think you see someone stab someone in the gut and laugh at them and walk away, and no one seems to do anything. Set against one of the hills is something like this, like animal skins that have been sewn together, and the face of a skull dripping off of it that leads into like a mine structure into the hill.
I dig these guys.
And yeah, no one even questions you coming in here. Where do you go?
Well, does this seem like the place that we were headed? Or is this some...
Ann's people were going to tell us where to go, right? Isn't that why we brought them?
Yeah, so if you ask that, I mean, you're traveling through the mountain pass, you can see the smoke and everything. As you get close, Osgard is like, yeah, I don't even know what we would call this place. I've been here only a couple of times, but that mine in the hills there, that's where Bug Juice is. Thanks.
It's like a proper hive of scum and villainy.
Just remember to shoot first.
Well, we'd better deliver this timber then.
Yeah, does anyone look like they're trading?
Yeah, but only like crap. Only like small stuff, like handmade bowls and trinkets made from bones and stuff. There's not any kind of major trade that you can see just in the gaggle of tents that are all around the hills here. That major tent where the mine is seems to have there. You can see people with proper spears and long curved blades. Some of them wear animal furs on their heads, and it's the closest thing to anything that looks like organized here.
Does it look like there's more people here than at Ann's place?
Oh yeah, by far. Dozens.
Let's go unload this wood. See what else they have to trade, huh?
Where do you take it?
Yeah. I'll ask the NPCs if we're supposed to take it directly to Bug Juice or...
Well, this is Oscar. He's like, to tell you the truth, I've never talked to Bug Juice. We've sent people before. I should be clear. I wouldn't suggest saying that we came from Ann's. I don't know. We should probably just come up with a story. Last time people were sent here to talk, they didn't come back.
And that would be dishonest to lie.
Bingo.
I concur.
Well, we could just tell him the truth. We came from Zelkor's Ferry, and we're here to trade.
Exactly. We don't work for anyone.
You came from Zelkor's Ferry.
Haven't you heard?
No, I haven't heard that. You traveled down to Ann's Redoubt. You people are insane.
Well, we'll travel back when we're done.
Thank you.
If you say so. Well, anyways.
I'm taking the insanity as a compliment.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think the only people we'll be able to trade in any large measure with are Bug Juice, and she's in that place, and there's guards. And they don't talk real good. But The couple of times I've been here, I've avoided that place.
This sounds like a moment for Krogon.
Yeah, I mean,
Krogonian diplomacy.
Aggressive negotiations.
Just take
I'll
Rogarius with you
go
in
in
case
as-
I'm wrong.
yeah, I'll go in as Krogon's like sidekick bodyguard with my face paint on from our ritual earlier as well.
Yeah.
No one's gonna believe that Krogon needs a bodyguard, man.
Of note, Rodicon and Malar obviously
Well,
have
I'm his
their
squire,
crazy paint on. And okay, so Solas, Rodicon, Malar, and Krogon sounds like a bar joke or something. They go up to the guards, and they're like, they speak in a they don't speak common. They go Kujost van Dizo Valanda Hara.
Oh, what language? I mean, we don't know.
Yeah, no one speaks this language, and nobody here does speak it except. Are there any smart people? You have no clerics with you, and these are all thieves.
I got intelligence
You're a ranger.
14.
I'm sorry, you would know this language. Yes, ranger things. You would know this language. You don't know how to speak it, but this is the language of the northern people of Fornjolter. They're from Isles across the Eastern Sea. They're not from Albion.
Can I at least like make some gestures towards the goods and say bug juice?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, they laugh. They're like, bug juice. They just like motion inside like they're gonna have a good time with this.
But were we
yeah,
supposed
that's
to
great.
Were we not supposed to call her that? I thought, did somebody say that?
Does everybody
What
go
were we
in?
supposed to call her?
No, I just feel like somebody said in the past, like, don't ever call her bug juice to her face or something like that. I don't know. I might be.
We're not
misremembering.
supposed to bring up Anne's name.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna stay outside with the men and the cart just in case there's some action out here.
All right.
Do you want me to stay with you too, or?
I got the mercs. If you would like to stay, you're more than welcome. But
I'm going in.
I've got the 14 charisma, so maybe I should go in.
I shouldn't go in because I can't lie. She asked me where we're trading from.
all
So.
right, why don't we have Rogarius go in then, and Blumbad and I'll stay outside just in case we need let's say designated survivors.
Right. And Euelis, Fergar, he goes in as well. Euelis will stay out with you. You've got your mercenaries. You've got 5 level 0s. And everybody that's staying outside can make a wisdom saving throw.
Very Ross.
Already?
Going inside.
What did I do wrong?
What'd you say, Darren?
Krogon's going inside, right?
That's what I got. And then also Rodicon and Malar. And then...
yeah.
And Rogarius and Solas.
Okay.
And
thanks.
Ferhar.
I had a bunch of calls from work. I was like, but it's good.
Actually succeeded because I have a +1 to the wisdom.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
I do not have a +8 though, so that's a.
All right. Father Bloombad, you notice a scrawny hand reaching from underneath the wagon, the wheel of the wagon around to try to make it towards somebody's backpack.
I grab it and yank him out.
You yank out a scrawny young man. He's like, "No, no, please!" And then the guards, they point at you and they start laughing.
I'll grab him. I'll turn him upside, grab him by his ankles, and shake him to see if any stolen loot falls out.
Yeah, you get all your coins back that fall out of him, and the guards, they start approaching you from the entrance to this place, but they don't. They just come up to you and they watch, smiling, like waiting for you to do whatever you're gonna do.
I just drop him on the ground and then kick him in the ass, so he as he runs away.
They laugh, but
Bold of you to let him keep his hands.
he doesn't run away. and he gets up onto the backs of his hands, and he pulls out a knife in fear, and he holds up the knife to you. And the guards they wait and they look at you like ha 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 ha, and they just wait and watch.
I just stare at him.
And in the foreign tongue they go, "Vozaskadan Vardadaslas Tidaro." One of them starts to get agitated.
At me or the kid?
At you.
I'm not sure what to do here. I guess I'll grab the kid then.
Yeah.
Disarm him.
All right. Make a dexterity check. See if he can stab you with his little shank.
Make him say that he likes crepes.
A little extra muscle will
say you like
de-escalate the situation.
Say you like crepes, Wiggy Bobby.
Je ne sais pas.
All right, you grab him. He tries to stab you. You just grab him by the wrist and you almost pop. You can hear the tendons go, and he's like, ah! And he releases from the gauntleted hand, or chained hand or whatever you have, and he releases his rusty makeshift blade that he was holding up against you, and he looks up at you in terror, and the guards just look on and smile and wait.
I don't know. I'll snap his wrist and kick him in the face to knock him out or something. I don't know if that's the punishment for the crime here.
You do that. You snap his wrist and you kick him in the face, and he's on the ground moaning. And the guards they look at you, and the one that was fussing is like, "Vordusens valatasta," and motions toward him.
I'll motion towards him as well and be shrug my shoulders.
I'm gonna pan the camera back to the diplomatic team.
Okay.
Meanwhile, everybody else goes inside.
Meanwhile, the red shirts.
And you're brought into this dark place, but you can tell that there are all these people, and there are stacks of treasures, and there are animal heads on the walls, and there's and they're kind of draped with animal skins in between. It's obvious it's just mounted trophies and stuff like that. And back in the corner of this cave is a seat carved from bone that reaches up halfway to the cave ceiling, and a woman sits with half of her face covered in a part of an animal, and she smiles as you approach, and then her smile disappears, and she just goes, "What?"
We bring goods.
What good?
Timber, in exchange for food, I believe.
Food. Food. You can't get You can't get own food. You're weak.
Oh, it's not for us. We are working on behalf of another party. We came from Zelquil's Ferry.
You help the weak who cannot get their own food?
Yes, because that makes me strong. What is it? It makes you strong to be able to help those weaker than you.
Nice. Show me that you're strong.
Well, strength comes in many forms. But I'm gonna give Krogon a look to be like, help me out here, and then just go to throw Krogon wrestling move style. He's bigger than me probably, and all this stuff. Just trying to make it
back at arm's length. It's like junior football. Yeah, what is it? Yeah, I will just you. I look at her.
She starts laughing. A bunch of them start laughing. Good, you brought clowns.
We are not clowns. You respect us.
Respect.
Yeah, it just so happens that the face paint you put on us though makes us look a lot like clowns.
Yeah, she's saying that you all are just clowns.
Here, warrior mark face forward.
Yeah. You're not clowns?
Yes, I bet you don't have a better champion than Krogon here. Do you not see the heads lining his belt?
Ah. Yes. You want to speak to, actually, let me get... I didn't have this. Let me see here. This would be like... yeah. You want to speak to Olaf. Yes.
Olaf. Is your chief?
You clowns entertain me. You beat Olaf. We'll trade food. You earn food. When you're here, food is never given or traded. You earn it.
And Krogan looks back at his friends. I think I must fight some champion.
Yeah, I'll grab him by the shoulders and just I'll headbutt him and just say, "You got this."
All right.
What's your champion?
You hear? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry. I got the headbutt and it brought me back to Krogan mode. Pardon me.
You hear like a loud just scraping across the floor as this does that even work? As this big boy just comes out from the darkness and smiles at you. It's possible that this person is a not how do I put this? He doesn't.
This Krogan fighting an ogre.
He doesn't look normal. And he just like drags. He's almost like more length of arm than he is body and torso. And he drags his big long arms out across the ground. He's got this big fat jowl that hangs down underneath his neck. Is just no neck. And he's like, and he just laughs. And
can you enlarge that token for a second?
I'll show it to you. Let me call it this. There you go.
Holy cow! That's
nice.
Nasty looking.
And I'm gonna need this.
So I look back at my friends. Well, look at this inbred weird freak. Any help for me?
He looks hurt for a second and stunned, and then he roars and starts rushing towards you.
Yep.
All right, and let's see. You can roll for initiative, a d6.
Yes, I asked for it.
All right, you passed. This is definitely not one hit die.
No. And we're weapons bared. We're like going at her.
You can, or you can toss your weapon to the side and try to wrestle and fight. I'll leave it up to you. He's not gonna use a sword if you drop yours, but you can go about it either way. Your sword does a lot more damage, though, so there's that.
I'm using my sword.
Okay. But it's also lethal, so there's also that.
Damn. All right. So I go in and like, you crazy bastard.
Oh God. Okay. You just raise your blade and hack off one of his arms, and it spews blood, and he's like, "Ah!" And everybody in this cave cheers. They seem to love that their champion is actually met a match. Except, let's see, 8. Man, my monsters! What is going on? What's your AC?
Hey, try being me.
AC's 14, I think.
Oh my gosh, that's not even close. Okay, it's let's roll for initiative again. Oof. Oof. Okay, he's gonna get another attack. And misses again. Okay.
Oh, Krogon the expert.
Krogon spins. If you see any faltering, but he carries on.
I swear, Crom is genuinely influencing the die rolls that happen around Krogon.
Lawmaker sheet. Yeah, and he mutters out, Crom, count the dead. My character sheet went blank. Give me a second. For some reason. Once well, roll 20 does this. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to roll d20, and it's +2.
Oof.
12.
12. That does not hit.
I whiff and come around. You creature. You give up.
All right, you can roll.
Your one arm is gone. It's like back to Monty Python mode.
He looks up at for a second. He looks up. You can roll for initiative. He looks up at Bug Juice, and Bug Juice is like just smiles, and then just holds her hand up, and he's like, and turns back toward you. He faces either certain death with Bug Juice or even the chance of living against you.
Did that poison have any effect, by the way? I scraped on my blade.
I didn't hear you say that you... Oh, wait, we didn't have... No, that was like days ago. If you had collected the poison, I would have said you could use it, etc., etc.
He was like scraping on his blade. That's yeah. Okay.
A nat 1? Are you kidding me? Okay. Well, I'm glad, but... Wow.
Okay. Krogon, okay, give me a second, because I really want to roll this, so I'm going to restart roll 20 real quick. So Krogon spins around. Yeah, you horrible creature. I'll smite you down. As I've smoten many, and I'm appreciating his sloped cranium and magnificent skull.
Can I try to start a chant? You know? Like,
yeah.
Krogon.
Yeah, because everybody in the cave is into it. They're cheering and laughing and yelling and everything. And they love it.
Sorry, everyone. My roll
okay.
20 is completely... It's such a cliffhanger.
I know. I would hate to roll for you. I don't want to do that. If I know. I see that you're logging back on. I want to let you roll for it if at all possible.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. Okay, here it is.
No. Describe how you kill this thing.
Oh my god! I skewer it and scissor, and I'm gonna collect its head.
And then you draw it back out, and then you scissor and lob off his head, and he just like finally and falls off to the side, and everybody in there cheers. It's ridiculous. It's great though.
I look at it with reverence and say, "A mighty warrior. It deserves silver." And I click it to my belt.
Yeah, you take his head. These people from Forgenauter seem to have some things in common with you. She nods as you take the head, and she says, "You are entertaining clowns, but you are also strong, and you have earned food. That was my strongest warrior." And she smiles and nods approvingly, having lost her strongest warrior. And she's like, "We can take a trade. However much timber is how much weight in food, in wheat, and seed." And you come outside, and you can see Father Bloombad, by the way, this guard is just about to attack you.
Before he attacks me, like, can I tie the kid up and like put a leash around his neck and tie him to the back of the cart? Is that like, I mean?
Yeah, you can keep trying to abuse him. You can try to, and he just keeps fussing. He's like, Volstvarden Zigarvovaltosta. And like keeps motioning toward the kid and stuff, and finally Bug Juice is like she comes out and she's like she says Ortmund Valkast Varutat, and she looks toward everyone else. She's like, you don't know our ways, but if you will be here, you will learn them. Anytime a thief touches something, if he fails to get what he tries to steal, you must kill him. But if he succeeds, we give him double.
Oh, okay, I'll just bash his head in with a mace then.
Oh, you kill him. That will be a chaotic act. But Bug Juice is already saying, hey, leave this guy alone, you know.
Oh, if he's going to leave me alone then.
Yeah. Okay, so, you have procured trade with the... with Bug Juice and her isolated Forgeanter barbarians in the mountains south of the Forest of Hope. And we still have 12 minutes left. You can try to make your way back if you want to spend the night here and drink and party and buy.
Yeah,
and
I want to try and I want to try and stay here, but rather I want to try and locate the smartest amongst them and try to learn some of the language.
Okay. You're able to find somebody who has managed to survive as a sort of appraiser of items, someone who survives by knowledge. And he speaks Common, and he's from Albion. And he's like, yes. It's so good. It's so good to see someone else from civilized land, you know. My name is Teog. What's your name? To Solas.
I'm Solus, servant of the light.
Oh, and a man of cloth too. Oh, that's quite something. It sometimes feels like there's no such thing as the light here on the edge of the edge of our isles.
Well, the light touches everything, does it not? Perhaps it's just a matter of perspective.
Of course, yes, you're right. Look, I don't suppose. What are you doing here, anyways?
Just some handiwork.
And where do you plan to go from here?
I don't really plan. I go where the light guides me. So, up in the air, really. But I find these people's way of life rather interesting. And I like to know things. So, I was hoping to learn some of the language.
I could teach you that. But it would take some time.
I'm willing.
Can you, I suppose what I'm asking is, where are you settling here? Are you going to try to take one of the gangs for yourself? What's your next move?
I'm not really sure. I'll have to discuss that with my compatriots and see where that leads us. We're a confraternity, as it were. So,
if you can get me out of here, I could teach you some things.
Oh, well, what would it take to get you out of here? Are you bound by some sort of issue?
Yes, an issue of a wilderness full of monsters.
Oh, well, have you any skills, means to survive?
I do. I know some clever tricks. I've studied what some call the Other, if you're familiar. I know some signs from the stars and from the woods, and I can perform some really interesting tricks.
Well, that piques my interest. You're welcome to travel with us. We plan to head out, I would assume maybe in a few days. I don't know what my companions have in mind.
Yes,
but I would like to do some reconnaissance.
I will teach you the language of the Fornshotter if you can. It'll take about a month's time, and you have to protect me. On your word.
Sure, but if we are to do this properly, and I'll pull out my blade without unsheathing it, like just hold it in my hands, and I'll instruct him to put his hand on it, and I'll put my hand on it, and I'll swear to protect him so long as he swears to uphold the virtues of the light whilst in my company.
He reluctantly looks at it, a little bit of distaste, and he's like, yes, of course.
Okay, and should you know, the symbolism of the sword is that I will decapitate you should you stray from the path.
Yes, I assumed as much. Okay, you now have a hireling. It's actually a henchman, so long as you meet the end of your bargain with him. He is a level 3 magic user.
Nice.
Oh.
Nice. This guy's going to teach me a language.
And he's going to teach you a language if you can keep him alive for a month.
Don't tell Croton.
Yeah.
Are there any unusual trade goods in this settlement?
Usual trade goods.
Exotic or unusual, anything?
Yeah, are you thinking of trying to bring... you're bringing food back. Anyways, the answer is yes. It's a large enough settlement to where they can produce raw trade goods. Things like lumber and stone and gypsum and I don't know what else. Brick and I don't know. What are you thinking?
I just meant maybe poultices or something like that.
Yeah. You could probably find a healing poultice. It won't do much, but it will be cheap. And you can only find a small amount.
I will purchase as much as I can then.
All right, so for 10 gold pieces, I'll say, Father Bloombad, eventually, as you spend all your time doing this, you're able to find 3 healing poultices that heal D2 hit points.
Excellent.
What's the livestock situation? Do they have hunting dogs?
They have groups of people that hunt and gather, and then also some rudimentary subsistence farming. They do not have anything like cattle, oxen. They do have some sheep. They have some pigs. And then there's not horses. They don't have a stable or anything.
Sheep are an interesting one.
And they do have dogs, but you don't find anybody willing to sell dogs. If someone has a dog, it's their dog, and it's it's more important than their spouse, probably.
I like these people. They have a good way of doing things.
Yeah, any other ideas?
Wouldn't mind having a group huddle with a party before we leave this place.
I would suggest that we stay for a few days and try to find out why they don't like honey and things like that.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay, so I plan to stay for a little while.
The actual entrance to Rappan Athuk is somewhere down here?
It's the east.
Yeah, it's actually on the coast, so it's about a week or 2 travel to the east.
It's closer to Ann's than here.
Yeah, and I said this would be a week, but you all actually got here a lot faster. This is the 5th day. It's 5 days, so Also, you should all mark off a ration. And then Kellic should mark off 5.
Should we go to the old tomb?
I will, if you're hanging around in the time that we have left, I'll say everybody can try to gather rumors if you want to try to see what's going on, you know.
I'll spend 10 gold on drinks at the local, you know.
Ah.
Trying to get some rumors.
Roll a d20, and what are you trying to find out?
You know, what's going on around town or
All right.
in the local area. 2.
You got a 2. Let's see here. You find some people. You said you're going to spend 10 gold. You find 2 drunkards who have horrible hangovers and are broke. They themselves got into some gambling and some contests of skill that they completely lost yesterday, and they're hungry. You said you give them 10 gold?
Well, I spend 10 gold on food and beverage.
Okay.
Curry favor with them.
Yeah, you doing that and then giving them a little bit of the extra. They are not only, first of all, they offer their services because 10 gold is like filthy rich to them. So, but they're just level 0s. They would just be a mouth to feed. But they tell you that one of the things that everyone here is worried about is there are these monsters, these like monstrous people that are about a week's travel south of here across a river, and they have like a castle. And although the people here outnumber them, they're these monstrous people, and they have these fell powers, they say. And that worries the barbarians. It's the only thing that they fear.
What kind of powers?
Oh, they claim that they have the ability to like control people's minds and see into their hearts and things like that. But they can see into your soul just by looking into your eyes and such. But you know, it's probably all just child stories.
Gotcha.
Anybody else in the time left that we have want to gather any rumors or anything?
Yeah.
No, regardless.
Yeah, I will chat with people and see what I can learn.
Okay. Let's see. They tell you some of the rules of the place because they see that you're a little out of place. They say, look, there's some things you need to know about this place. First of all, bug juice is the boss. That's the number 1 rule. Every other rule comes from that rule. You cross bug juice, you die. That's how this place works. The second thing is, anytime someone starts a fight here, if the fight is accepted, you have to fight to the death. That's the only way it works. So if you get in a fight and the other person chooses to fight back, the guards they'll watch, and only one person is walking out. If you don't accept a fight and you surrender, then the guards will turn you into a slave, but they'll kill your attacker. And that's just how it works here. The other thing is, these people, terrified of magic. If they see magic, they kill somebody on the spot. If anybody talks about things like that. Same thing with things from the underworld and monstrous things. They're terrified of it. You can imagine these people are not terrified of anything, but that's the truth. The other thing is, nothing is ever just traded here. At least not with them. People out here in the tents can trade, but we don't have much. People there in that hillside, everything is always earned. Usually by blade and blood and strength. Nothing's ever given. And then the last thing is, people steal things here all the time. It's a risky venture, but it's a way people survive. They reward theft. If someone manages to steal from you, and then the thief can present your property to the guards come and they demand double from you. But if you catch the thief, then they expect you to kill the thief. So only good thieves survive, I guess.
I see.
And with that, sounds like we're going to hang out at the barbarian settlement next session a little bit. And that'll be the end of the session for tonight.